So listen, y'all. I'm just kidding. I'm tripping right now because the judge is going to be like, so wait a minute. You mean to tell me you behind on child support? You're in contempt for posting her on your social media platform. He still has posts up of her today. Today, he still got video footage of her on his page today, right? His YouTube, his TikTok, his Facebook that I know of. Somebody said Big O, but I don't even go over there. But his YouTube, his TikTok, his Facebook. He has Brianna up, her face, him with the kid. He has those up. Right? Oh, and Snapchat. Thank you. That's 4. And Snapchat. So 4 devices, 4 platforms. He still have her up. Right? But yet, and he owes child support. And he will not sign her passport. But you want to go in there and say, I want custody. I want custody. I want her put in jail. For what? I don't know. He wants custody because of her, let me see, continued contempt of court. But the judge is not going to award custody unless I freaking had that in here that it said, I'm going to find where it said about the custody. All right, so it's a lot of them in here. That's why I knew I said something about custody. Okay, so number 6 starts with custody. And all it says is the allegation contained in paragraph 1 of the amended petition for modification of custody and child support requires neither admission nor denial. So I'm going to just take all of these because it goes from number 5 all the way to number 5 and number 17 is about custody. So let me just take number 5 to number 17. Give me a second. And let me just find out. Okay, let me do the lineup. Give me a second. Let me line it up with what he is asking. All right, hold on. Number 5 through number 17. Give me a second, y'all. Give me a second. Okay, I see it now. Okay, so Robert claimed there's a material change in the child's condition or circumstances that affects her welfare. Brianna's response requires neither admission nor denial. Okay, so basically that translation is the claim, basically the burden of proof is on him. So when he says requires neither admission nor denial, it's the burden of proof is on him. All right. So paragraph number 6, child needs have changed. Robert says the child needs have changed since the final order. Brianna requires neither admission nor denial. Burden of proof on you. Number 7, Brianna alleged interference and justification for custody change. Robert claims Brianna conduct warrant modification of custody, likely referencing school call block parenting interference. Brianna denied. Plus, she reminded the court that the custody was already determined in the case on April 16, 2024. So basically what she's saying is, no, we already went through that. Now you found the same shit. We already been through that. All right, number 8, alleged willful contempt by Brianna. Robert claims she willfully violated the terms of the final order. Brianna's response requires neither admission nor denial. Number 9, allegations that Robert acted improperly. Robert claimed that he followed all the terms of the order and hasn't violated anything. Brianna's response requires neither admission nor denial. Number 10, claims related to best interest of the child. Robert alleges his requests are in the best interest of the child. Brianna responds, requires neither admission nor denial. Paragraph 11, request for custody modification. Robert claims he's asking the court to modify custody based on everything he said. Brianna responds, requires neither admission nor denial, but objects to the relief requested. Translation, no sir, you're not getting custody. Don't ask again. Number 12, wrap up, request for relief. Robert claimed general prayer for the court to grant his request. Brianna responds, requires neither admission nor denial. So basically, a lot of this stuff is she's saying, nigga, prove it. Is that what that means, Sean? When it says request neither admission nor denial, she's basically saying, prove it. She said, drop the link. Okay. She basically, in my opinion, that's what it sounds like she's saying, nigga, prove it. Prove it. Prove it. Prove it. Prove it. Okay? Prove it. I ain't finished. Oh, y'all ain't finished. My bad. Then it says, so everything that was dealing with the modification of child custody, that's what she said, requires neither admission nor denial. So basically she's saying, I'm not answering that shit. You proved that. He thought by adding her dad was going to scare her, and she called his bluff. It sounds like Brianna is simply not responding to a lot of the BS. That's what it sounds like to me too. It sounds like she is not entertained. It sounds like she's not willing to do his dog and pony show. Now, I'm going to say this. I actually thought that she was. I honestly thought that Brianna would have responded to every last one of these. But it does sound to me like she is not about to do his dog and pony show. She's like, nigga, do that dog and pony show by yourself. I ain't saying shit. Nah. She's not doing it. And you know what? This, in my opinion, may make him mad. And the reason why I say that is because it sounds like it has not a lot of emotions in it. You know what I mean? Now, I'm sure her lawyer advised her of that, because my lawyer did the same thing. He was like, we're not responding to that. We're not going to answer that. We're not going to say nothing about it. Just recently, he said, I dropped the link already, y'all. I dropped the link. Let me do it again. He said something to me, and I'm like, what? And I was about to get out of bed. He said, nah, no need to do no emotions. They have to prove that. I said, are you kidding me? He said, don't worry about it. I'm going to tell him to prove it. To prove it. So, again, but an experienced attorney will know that. They will know that you don't have to. That's why you need to get a lawyer. Seriously. Because, see, we will go off emotions. We'll be like, nah, nigga, I'm going to respond to every last one of these. And that's what they want you to do. They want you to pull your hair out responding to every last one of these, where your attorney can look at it and be like, look, hey, did you get the link, Sean? I dropped it right here, baby. But we'll be ready to go ham and respond to every last thing that's out there, right? Because we're on emotions. When an attorney like, nope, the burden of proof is on them. Let them prove it. Because if he can't prove it, then next, right? Let me tell you something about court. You can write anything you want to. You can go in there and write shit. This person did this. This person did that. This person did this. This person did that. And then the judge is going to say, okay, well, prove it. Prove that they did that. You can listen. As a plaintiff, you can say whatever you want to say. You can say they fucking stole $20K from you. You can put anything you want to. But the burden of proof is on you. So go in there and prove your case. Prove that she's unfit. Prove the best interest of the child is with you. Prove that, whatever, right? Prove it. This, in my opinion, makes a plaintiff's job hard. They can literally go in and not say shit. See, me, I probably would have been petty, but I probably would have been wrong. Right? But the burden of proof is on you. So go, and then here's the thing. And if he's not able to prove it, he's the one going to look crazy. Because now, at the end of the day, if the judge don't rule in his favor, then bloggers like myself are going to say, you went in there and you wasn't even able to prove this, or this. You had no proof. You were just out here running your flap, talking shit for no reason. Right? So to be honest with you, if he don't get what it is that he's asking for, he's going to look crazy. You mean you out here telling social media this, and this, and you can't even prove it in court? He has an uphill battle. Literally, y'all, I'm not even playing with y'all when I tell y'all, as I look at these, I'm only going to show you just a little bit, right? I'm not even going to show you the whole. I'm just going to show you how this right here looks. All of this right here. Neither denied nor approved. Neither denied nor admission. Neither admission nor denied. Neither admission nor denied. Look at all this shit that you know what I mean? Neither admission nor denied. Neither admission nor denied. Neither admission nor denied. Neither admission. Basically, she is saying I ain't admitting or denying none of this shit. I'm not doing this dog and pony show with your ass. I'm not doing it. That's what it screams to me. Hold on one second, Sean. I'll bring you up. Give me a second. Sean.
Hey, can you hear me?
I can. I just changed browsers because I didn't want it to be echoing. Can y'all let me know if it's echoing down there? Okay, go ahead. They'll tell me in a minute if it's echoing. So what's up, lady? Because baby, she basically a lot of this, and I can send it to you as well, but a lot of this, it says, I ain't admitting nor denying to this shit.
Okay, so
is this
what that mean? Can you hear me? Can you hear me?
I can hear you.
Okay, so when they say that, that's her or her attorney saying basically what she's asking for. She does not need him to respond. She doesn't need a denial or admission from him. She can get that order, or she can get the judge to rule on that without a response from him. That's what she means. That's something that's already been established. It does not matter what his explanation is, whether he denies it or he admits it. It doesn't matter. She can get it if she presents it to the court. The court is not going to ask him what he wants. That's what that means.
So this is her answer to him.
Yeah, that's what it means. What you're reading is her counterclaim. So on the first part of what you read, she answered to him. Then she went into the second part of where she wants the judge to find him in contempt. So those are the things that she...
But her answer is where it says, this is what it says. Let me send it to you right quick. Hold on.
Okay.
Give me a second. Let me just send it to you right quick so you would know what I'm saying.
Where are you sending it?
Oh, shit.
Exactly.
Text me right quick. I forgot.
Because you surely answered none of my texts today.
But do you have Apple?
Yes.
Okay, send it to me right quick.
Lord have mercy. Okay, hold on.
Because I sure was about to send it to the other one.
Okay, you want me to text you?
Yeah, text me right quick.
Okay. I'm going to send you some emojis. Tell me if you got it. Let me call you.
No, you doing the wrong number. Let me text you. No shit, I can't text you. Yeah, you got your number changed and I don't have. You even texted me. Let me give you my number in the back.
Yeah, because I must be texting the wrong darn number.
Yeah, you doing the other one. That's why you said I gave my new number. I said no, you didn't.
Oh, you know what? I sure was texting.
Okay, I just gave it to you in the private chat.
Okay. No, I was not. I did the wrong way. Okay.
Because it looks like she is from how I'm reading it, Sean. It sounds like it says answers and counterclaim. Her answers, she's saying it says respondent admits the allegation contained in paragraph 3 of the amended petition for modification of custody and child support. Then it says the allegation contained in paragraph 6 of the amended petition for modification of custody and child support requires neither admission nor denial. So she's saying she ain't admitting nor denying the shit that he put in there.
Okay, so that's in her answer. Okay, I see what you're saying.
Yeah. Okay. So she's saying the things, because he said in his, and do you have his? Because his is a lot. Like his is fucking a lot. Just a lot.
I have his. It's on my computer though, girl. I'm not pulling anything up. Yeah, but I have his.
Okay,
I see his.
Yeah. His is a lot. And his is basically, he basically trying to say she's unfit. And I read somewhere where it says something about it says something like he has not proven that she's unfit. Or something like that.
Yeah, it takes a whole lot for a judge to take a child away. And he hasn't proven that. That's like, I don't even think, like I said, I'm not even going to say why. I'll say it in the sister group. That's not going to be entertained. But I can look at it and tell you why, but I won't say it on here.
Yeah, I already know it's not going to be entertained. Yeah. And not only that, I don't think she got court. I think we read something where her lawyer said that she's going to be out of town. So I think that they requested to have it moved to the right. So court is not next week, you guys. They asked for a continuance. And I heard somebody say, you asked for a continuance 3 days prior to court. We asked for a continuance the day of court.
Yeah, you can ask for a continuance at any time. It's not a time limit.
Yeah. So it doesn't matter if you ask for a continuance 3 days or the day of. Like you ask for a continuance, and if the judge granted, it's granted. But she was like, you asked for a continuance 3 days before court? Okay, that's their business. Duh. I think her
It's
lawyer is a conflict of interest or something like that. She said in the write-up that because we read it too. It said something about she was going to be. I don't know if she's going to be out of town or she's going to. I think she has another court case or
who,
something.
Bree lawyer?
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
But they tried to say she didn't have a lawyer. Looks like a damn lawyer to me.
Well, I heard, like I said, I heard from the person that reads the docs on that side or whatever, and it has this inside source or whatever, that it was pro se, but I didn't see no. I don't see no pro se. Look like to me she has a lawyer.
She does have a lawyer, Brittany M. Dixon. That's what it says on this piece of paper. So I don't know what that lady was reading. But see what they try to prove. Did you text me yet? I'm gonna send it to you.
Oh, I didn't even I called you, and that's the right number, Amor. I have been. I don't know what's going on. I don't know why you're not getting. Hold on.
I'm not getting it. I promise you, I'm not getting it. No, I don't have no text in there for you. I promise you.
Okay, hold on. Let me try something else.
And here's the thing. They want to do that to try to make the supporters think that Brianna's a liar, I'm a liar, or whoever on our, that we support. They try to make it seem like, oh, they're lying. Don't support them. They want Brianna to lose support. But so Brianna definitely has. Oh, she moved down. I think I lost Sean. Hold on, let me drop it again.
So the only thing I was going to say was that, I haven't spoke much about the whole thing, but what I will say is this is my belief and my opinion, just based on past experiences with this whole legal situation. I only believe that those papers were filed just to satisfy the masses, just to satisfy that side, because the different papers that he filed, I believe that he's listening to figure out which papers to file exactly. So that's why some things I don't speak on and I don't say, because there are certain papers that he's filing. Like the first set, he just filed contempt and he's asking for custody. We all know you can't get custody through contempt. You can't do that. But I believe in maybe on down the line, there was a conversation had in one of the lives about, there's only two other ways that you can file for custody. There's two ways. I'm not going to say it on here, but one of those ways was mentioned in one of the chats. And then like the next day or the next 2 days, we seen him do it that way without me kind of signing subliminal. Do you get what I'm saying no more without me kind of signing subliminal? Let me mute my mic.
Yes, I understand exactly what you're saying. And yes, that's exactly what happened. Because we talk too much, and it's not even that we talk too much. He comes over here and he listens and he gets clues as to what to do, because he's definitely clueless. So yes, we did mention that how he filed was incorrect and that it wasn't going to go through. And 2 days later, I think it was after the weekend, he went the following Monday or whatever and he corrected it. So you're absolutely correct. He comes over here and listens to what we say as far as how he should move. And he also goes and listens to, or I believe he's on the back end or whatever, talking to the other people, the smart ones, not the clowns, but I shouldn't even say smart, but the ones that's not clowning, not coming out here acting belligerent and, just fighting shit, but the ones that's actually, blogging or whatever, I believe he's talking to them and they may have given him some pointers as well. I'm muting.
Yes, that's exactly right. Because I just kind of be watching. And if you watch the timeline of everything, and New Day, you might be right, but girl, I don't even care about that. But that's exactly right. So it's only certain ways, y'all. You can't just go to a court because you find somebody in contempt. And the contempt that he's asking for, I'm not saying they're petty, but they're minute. They're very minute, the things that he's talking about. And being that they've already been to court one time for contempt, and if it's in front of the same judge, that's not going to be good, because it's going to be in front of the same judge. And she's already put out an order based on what I seen on the last paperwork. If they come back in front them again for the same thing, that they're going to have consequences, especially for the social media situation. So I don't know what encouraged or pushed him to do that, but he probably should have thought about that as far as the social media stuff. Because, and I'm thinking that might be why her lawyer Do you know if it's, does it say on the paperwork who the judge is going to be? Can you see that or no, Amora?
Let me take a look. Hold on.
Because if it's in front of the same judge, like I said, she's already put out an order that if they are found in contempt for this social media thing again, that she was going to implement jail time. So that's in the last order. So, and when I went back to read all the paperwork, I read that part and I was like, oh, but as far as, and another thing, as far as Bree with the whole switching up the places where they meet up at. So what she did was very smart. And even though people don't see it that way, what she did, how she did it was very smart. And I'm explain that. Because from what I understand, and Amor, you can correct me if I'm wrong, she said that the reason why she switched back up to the original court plan was because he went and filed paperwork. So anytime that either party goes and file paperwork and they can't agree, now as long as they can agree and they ain't having no problems, you can do what you want. But the minute the other one goes and files some type of legal paperwork or whatever, the other party can automatically go back to the original plan until something else is done. So there's nothing that she did wrong. She did it exactly right. And her reasoning is good because he went and filed legal paperwork. It's not that they couldn't come to an agreement. It's because he went and filed paperwork.
Okay. I don't see the judge on here. It just says, it just looks like they're going to the same courtroom that they went to before. So I don't know exactly how that works. Is it a judge assigned to a courtroom? I don't know how that goes. So I don't know. It doesn't say who the judge, but it does say that it looks like it's going back to the same courtroom. So I don't know how that works.
Same courtroom, same judge. Yep. So it's going back to the same judge.
Okay, so they will be going in front of the same judge.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
So let me ask you something though. I just put you on mute. Let me just ask you something. So I agree with you with I don't think that she's going to be found in contempt when it comes to any of this stuff, to be honest with you. However, as far as the social media stuff, I believe that if she's found in contempt, he's going to be found in contempt because he actually has been doing the exact same thing. And, well, when I say the exact same thing, he has her photos posted up still with her kids, him with the kids, her with Momo or whatever. He has, and he speaks of her on his platform. However, it was something else I was about to say. Oh, it was something else I was about to say. But anyway, if she's found in contempt of social media, he will be found in contempt of social media. So do you know whether or not a judge can find someone in more contempt than the other one? I'm going on mute.
Well, okay, so even if the judge says that she thinks that one party is in more violation than the other, because she that information that if either one violates it in either way, they will face a consequence. So she won't do one over the other is if you violate it. But I can tell you right now, the child support, he automatically going to be found in contempt with. That's automatic because when you're behind like that, then you automatically get contempt. So he will be found in contempt for the child support. That's no doubt. The social media, that's the only where I put a question mark on, because if she didn't deny it, the only thing she did was say, hey, maybe so, but you have done A, X, Y, and Z, which means, she's saying maybe you do think that, and maybe she'll explain it. Depends on how she explains it in court, or, how she can say what her association is or whatever. But see, Bree is not, and I'm not saying one over the other, but I'm just being honest. And you know me, Amora, I'll be honest. Bree is not hanging out with the people that are, speaking against. I think what works against him is that he's hanging out with the people, and he is in the chats, and he is, and one of the biggest ones that I've seen was one of the content creators says, yes, I know him personally, which is the one that she has the restraining order against. That's going to work against him. That's all in writing. That's all being seen on social media. Now, if you want to say that Bree is in violation of social media because of her contact with content creators, you got to be able to, they're going to want to know how.
Right. I also just looked it up and it said, yes, they both can be found in contempt, and the judge can find one in contempt more than the other, and the sanction can be harder. So they can find both of them in contempt and put harsher punishment on one versus the other. And it says one may have to pay the attorney fees or receive a heavier consequences depending on what the judge feels is more harmful or intentional. But I also read up, and I want to ask you this. I read up to where it said when you do a motion for contempt, when it comes to contempt of court after a divorce, it said what the judge looked for is the contempt to be what's in the best interest of the child. So instead of just petty, frivolous, I'm going to go get you in trouble, they look at the contempt being whether it's harmful for the child or not. So I guess what I'm saying is some of the contempts I see that RH put in here does not have no interest bearing on the child or not, okay? However, he put it in here. So, but it said that they want this. So basically it gave an example of contempt of court, like she's not letting me see my child. She's not letting me talk to my child. She's missing visitations, that type of stuff, right? Not like little petty, frivolous things, you know? So would you think social media would be petty, frivolous, or do you think he had it right? And also, one more thing on top of that, I don't mean to bombard you with questions, but also, he put in here that she's not letting me visit my children, to the school. But then he said, he admitted that he went up to the school, right? And then he said she changed locations, which we already said that's not going to go. But she went back to the other location and she gave him prior notice, right? And then the one about, it was that one, the visitation. Oh yeah, and then he tried to get her on mention the passport on social media when he brought up the passport first. How does that even go? I mean, what do you think about that?
Okay. You might have to repeat the first part, but I can say about the school situation, being that I don't know the details about that, but everybody knows as far as, being in school, and even I had this issue with my ex-husband, but it wasn't, a willfully, purposely thing. Whenever you want to visit your child at school, you can't just pop up at the school. Everybody knows that. You have to either call the teacher or call the counselor and make some form of an appointment to see them or let them know, not just pop up. So that's a question mark that I would ask. Did you even, and that would be for her too. She can't just pop up. She got to call up and say, hey, I'm coming up there. And if he would have done that, then the school would have, notified her ahead of time, blah, 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 hey, if there was going to be an issue with it. Now, that's something they're going to probably go back and forth on. But if he has not been doing that on a regular basis, if he has not been coming to the school, just imagine this. Just imagine the whole school year. You haven't seen the father. You haven't seen him up there at all. And a man just pops up there and says, hey, I'm the father. Not saying, that he shouldn't have a right, but imagine the school, it's the end of the school year. Imagine what the school is thinking. Like, you haven't made an appointment. We've never seen you up here before. You know what I'm saying? These are the kind of questions that are going to come in to play. And with the school, and this is allegedly, I'm not saying that's what happened, but based on the information that was put out, it sounds like that's exactly what happened. And as far as like the social media situation, it is my opinion, and you can tell me what you think as well. It is my opinion that they need to take Momo off social media, period, altogether. Because one, she's a minor. Two, I feel like, I know that's his child, I know that's her child, but I just feel like she's being exploited a little bit. And I feel like she needs to come off social media until, she's old enough to make up her mind if she wants to, and I think a judge will do that. If Brianna said, Brianna's the primary parent. She is the primary custodial parent. So I do think that she probably needs to ask that, Momo be taken off of social media because of the bad publicity, because of the stuff that they're saying about her. And I just think she should come off. That's my opinion. Now, whether she does, I don't know, but that's my thing about the whole social media. And I think that's probably what a judge would probably suggest if one of them don't bring it up. I forgot your first question.
I do agree with you that Momo should be taken off of social media, and simple for the fact of it is a lot, and they are now using her. I know I've seen a couple of content creators use her photo as thumbnails, which actually is violation of YouTube policy. But I don't think that a lot of people read that. You're not supposed to put somebody else's kids on your profile. I mean, your thumbnail. You're not actually supposed to post somebody's kids altogether, but that's on another subject. But anyway, so I do think that is a violation, and I do think that is in the best interest of the child that Momo comes off of social media. I 100% agree, because in my opinion, he is using her as a part of his victim mentality plot. You know, oh, I'm a victim and my daughter, and we're both victims, and you know, so forth and so on. He even added her. Anyway, but I do agree that she needs to come off social media. But also, my first question, what was my first question? I think I said something along the fact of, what did I say? I said something about, so the court looks at contempt as, they said that they want it to be, whatever your contempts are, they want it to be something that's in the violation of the best interest of the child. So him him doing contempt of social media stuff, that doesn't really necessarily have anything to do with Momo. So would the court look at that like, oh, you're just being picky, or how is he going to tie that into, well, that's in the best interest of Momo?
Oh, you said it exactly. I'm sorry.
No, go ahead. I'm going to put it on mute.
Okay. You are exactly right. You said it correctly. You basically just kind of answered your question in one. Basically, if you bring that to the court, see, this is the risk that you take when you try to, go against the other parent. If you're kind of doing the same thing, the court is going to look at it as an overall general thing and what's in the best interest of the child. So if he's saying, hey, something in reference to her with baby girl with social media, and then she comes back and says, well, you have her this, and that, and bringing up, and the fact that if she can show where, if he says something about the passport, from my recollection, and y'all correct me if I'm wrong, I believe that they was having a conversation in a truck, in his car or wherever, and the conversation was brought up between them two, and I believe Brianna replied, but she didn't reply directly, and she did not say, she only asked, does anybody know A, B, C, and D? Now, if I can recall, that's how it went from what I've seen. So, if you're going to say,
hold on one second. That is correct. Excuse me. That is correct. That's how it went. But the reason why he put it in the contempt paper is because he was embarrassed. He had lied and said that to Momo, he lied to his daughter and said, well, Momo said, Mommy lost it. And even though he knew that he had already told Brianna that he wasn't going to sign Momo's passport, he lied to Momo. Well, Momo said, Mommy lost it. And he went along with it and was like, your mommy lost it? Oh, she shouldn't be doing that. Oh, well, that's your mom's fault or whatever. She needs to be holding on to things like that. Because he didn't really want the public to know that he was just not signing the passport. Then he further went on and said, when Brianna said, anybody can help with a passport when you have a child's father that is not a parent, that's not willing to sign a passport or something like that, she said. I can't remember verbatim. He took offense because he knew all along that's exactly what he was doing, holding back on signing Momo's passport, right? And then, but he went to his platform and said that passport is not expired, right? He doubled down and tripled down on it. And he even posted in his story, he said, I bet you won't post that expired passport. So he was saying that to Brianna, that he bet she won't post the expired passport. Now, I'm assuming the reason why he said that to her is because that would have been in contempt. If she would have posted the expired passport, he would have got her on contempt of showing social media that the passport was indeed expired. She needed him to have it renewed, and he said no. So basically, because he wants to control her and he wants to make it harder for her, he's not signing Momo's passport, and it punishes Momo, but he's doing it to hurt Brianna. He doesn't even understand that punishing Momo will hurt Brianna. And then he came back and told his audience the reason why he's not signing it is because the planes will fall out the sky, is what he said. And I'm sure he's going to go in court with that. I love my child so much that I don't want her to die from the planes falling out the sky. And the judge is going to hand him his ass pretty much. I'm going on mute.
Okay, so let me tell you what I think about that. So here's the mistake. Here's the mistake. You can't say, or you can't file a contempt and say you're upset with the mother for bringing something about the passport to social media. Because one, we all know how it came to social media. Two, you can't say that and in the same breath explain it. You understand what I'm saying? You can't explain it, then explain to your audience, and then turn around and antagonize and challenge her to put something on social media when you just said, or your position is that you don't feel like she should be discussing it on social media, but you turn around and you offer your audience an explanation for it. You can't do that in the same sentence. That means that, and then you turn around and you antagonize the mother to bring it to put it on social media. That means that hey, I challenge you to put it on social media, and then turn around and say, well, I'm gonna hold you in contempt for it. You see, that doesn't work. You can't do that. And see, little details like that is what is being overlooked. And that is what judges look at, details like that. How can you say or be upset or say she's in contempt for that when one, the baby girl brought it to social media because she asked you, because you had her on camera, which that's another reason why she should come off social media. Because if you have an issue with your personal stuff being talked about on social media, you should have immediately shut the camera off, immediately mute the camera. Immediately mute it so it is not discussed. Say, hey, listen, baby girl, we're not going to discuss that on here, okay? So you see, it's the way you handle it to hold your position. You can't do that and in the same breath offer explanation and challenge the other party. You see what I'm saying?
Yeah, I do see what you're saying, and I think the reason why he did that, because he had the bloggers. That's when, I want to say it was Stephanie or somebody was like, "Oh, you lying bitch! You know that passport is not expired. You lied on that man. This and the other." And he allowed that, knowing that the passport is expired, and he's just not signing it because he wants to hurt Brianna. But he allowed Stephanie, one of his heaviest supporters, or should I say Brianna haters, stalker, actually, she's a Brianna stalker. But anyway, he allowed her to say, and I know this is actually a lie, he allows them to lie, and he knows the truth, and even with the page and everything, he knows the truth, but he allows them to continue to lie because his goal is for them to continue to harass his ex. So he knows, instead of shutting it down, saying, hey, you guys, don't speak on that, it's a personal matter, whatever the case may be, he allows them to continue to speak on it, knowing it's a lie. He knew all along that he had already told Brianna he's not signing the passport, but yet he tried to pretend that the passport was, matter of fact, he even said, that passport's not expired. We just went to the Bahamas like a couple of years ago. That passport is not expired. So he even came out to the public and offered more information and lied and said the passport is not expired. But yet now we see in a contempt answer that she is asking the judge to basically go around him, because he's being difficult as a co-parent and not signing the passport out of his bitterness toward the baby mama. He's taking it out on his child, but with the attempts of hurting the mother. He doesn't want the mother to travel. He knows the mother wants to take all of her kids, and he's like, no, leave me, my daughter, and you go head on. So he's hurting Momo while trying to hurt Brianna. I'm on mute.
That's exactly what it is. That's exactly what it is. It's when, again, the first thing a family court judge is going to say anytime it has to do with the child is their first priority is not the parents. It is what is in, just like what you said earlier, what is in the best interest of the child. So they want to look at what it is, both parents, what are they doing that is in the best interest, or is it a selfish move? Is it something that will benefit the parent, or is it something that's more beneficial to the child? And to me, my opinion is that this is more so geared toward, because what has she done, or what is she doing, or what signs have baby girl shown to show that she's unfit or she needs to be taken away or anything? What has she done? How is social media? Because just by my observation, Brianna doesn't even bring her to social media. So social media is not affecting her. She is brought to social media mainly by the father all the time. So if anything is brought up, it's between conversations. Even I even heard a conversation about a baby doll. I feel like that was indirect. I feel like that was, a subliminal. I feel like, you can't. I, you understand what I'm saying? Without me saying too much. I feel like I'm saying too much anyway. But
yes, no, I understand what you're saying.
I just
Yes.
feel like,
Oh, go ahead. Go ahead.
I'm sorry. I just feel like the conversations that are being had on social media between him and baby girl should not be, that should be grounds to not do any more to bring her off social media. Because one, just like you just said, it's being used for content. If it's just fun, lovable family stuff, yeah, do your thing. But when it starts to where you're trying to sub the mom by having conversations with the daughter on social media, that's the problem. That's the problem. And I can see a judge saying, is that what's in the best interest? Because it's like you're trying to sway your audience to see that there's a problem, and you're using your daughter to, put a stamp on it. You know what I'm saying?
Yes, I've seen several times that he's put a post of him and Momo together, like father-daughter loving moment, and say things like, "I've been lied on, my name has been ruined, and all I'm trying to do is love on my child," or something like that. So he definitely uses Momo as a ploy for a sympathy from his audience. And that actually looks bad, because it's almost like he's trying to say, my daughter and I against Brianna and her supporters, because he's deeming Brianna and her supporters as liars, right? And so he uses his daughter as a ploy for that, which, that, in my opinion, I don't know, that I'm going to attempt to say, I believe that is weaponizing his daughter to garner sympathy from his supporters against Brianna, her mom. And that is a big no-no in the family court, because that is a part of alienation. Over.
Yep, you're right. You so right, Amor. That's exactly right. Using a child as a weapon. That's another reason. That only just adds on to another reason why she should come off social media. And listen, here's another, what you just said earlier. I kind of remember what you said earlier of when he says, okay, well, planes are crashing and I don't want my daughter. Planes was crashing with 9/11. Planes were, and she still got on the plane after that with you and Brianna. She was traveling with them. Planes being crashing. The judge is not going to accept that as an excuse, because we had 9/11. That was one of the biggest plane crashes we had. And you still got on a plane with her and traveled with her after that incident. You can't stop that. The thing about it is, it's more dangerous now to drive than it is to fly. I mean, if you look at the statistics, it's more dangerous to drive because you're more likely to get in an accident than it is for a plane to crash. So that can't be used as an explanation to stop a passport. It's not going to be. You got to come up with a very good explanation not to sign a passport. So they're probably going to bypass and give her that. I can see that happening. I can see a judge bypassing and giving her the authority to renew her passport without him.
Yeah, I could definitely see that, because, I mean, if you're doing, and the judge frowned upon any parent trying to do something to hinder the other parent. You know what I'm saying? So trying to hinder her or control her, and no, I want you to beg me or kiss my ass or lick my balls or suck on my coochie or whatever, so that, you can get permission to take Momo, is wrong. Because he's basically saying, I have the power. I'm 50% of her father and 50% of her parent. And if I don't want Momo to travel with you on vacation, then I'm not going to allow her. However, Momo said, I want to go to Jamaica. His first response was, we'll go to Jamaica. She says, no, I want to go with mommy. And that's when he hesitated. Because when she said, I want to go to Jamaica, he was like, okay, we'll go. And he even further, Sean, came out and said on his YouTube channel that he only wanted her to go if he goes with her. He said, I believe both parents should fly overseas with their child. So he's basically saying, if Brianna pays for him a ticket so he can tag along with her, Jonelle, and the kids, as long as he can be right there with them for free and mooch off of them, he's okay with it. Go ahead.
Yeah, you know what? I do remember that. And I'm going to tell you something. It's very important and it's very important that those type of statements gets to her lawyer, because if he uses that as a defense mechanism, it can be countered with those statements that are said on social media. You know what I'm saying? And those statements can go back in the chambers with the judge. If he says, well, I don't want her to fly. Well, one, what you just said, you said you don't mind her flying, but with you. So that automatically is going to present the fact that this is a very selfish situation. It's a selfish situation. It's more about what your needs are than what the needs of the child are. So those contradicts his statement. If you go in, you got to know what he's going to come with. So it's good for statements like that for her to give to her lawyer, because it'll go back in chambers. I mean, it's already out there, and this is the type of stuff that she can use to give to him, give to her lawyer, because this is the type of stuff that her lawyer will need to, contradict whatever statements he makes in court about that.
Yes, he definitely said that. He feels that both parents should go, and he's going to continue to do whatever. And then he came back, and when somebody was saying that she fixed it, and he was like, no, she didn't. He said, well, if she got it done behind my back, she still has to ask my permission before she leaves the state. So with that being said, it was no longer about a flight falling out of the sky. It was about control, because he actually did say, well, if she got it done behind my back, she still has to ask me for permission to leave the state. And then he says, and me and my daughter, we're gonna drive everywhere we go. It doesn't matter if it's 12 hours or not. We're gonna drive 12, no matter how long it takes, 12 hours or whatever, we're gonna go by car. And then he says, and then he came back and says, oh, but I'll fly on a jet, but I'm not gonna fly on a plane. But I'll fly to the Caribbean on a jet. Basically, he was saying if somebody was nice enough to buy him a ticket, he'll fly anywhere, is basically what he was saying. He's just mad right now because he doesn't have enough to buy a ticket. These tickets is high as fuck, and he does not have the Caribbean money to go on a plane. Therefore, he does not want her to go on a plane.
And another thing I want to mention with the whole passport thing. Now, this is just an option. This is something a judge can look at and a judge can do. Now, say that Bree says, hey, this is a problem when I try, because don't forget, she has full custodial. She has full physical custody. They share legal custody, which means they make all the decisions together. So that is why the passport is a problem, because she can't make any decisions without him, because that's a legal thing. However, if a judge sees that he's going to give her issues with that, and the judge doesn't find reasons that his reasoning is good, she could take away legal custody and give it all to Bree. I mean, I'm not saying that will happen, but if a judge sees that there's a problem with negotiations, and one parent giving the other parent a hard time about making certain decisions, and it could go either way. But I'm just saying, when one parent is giving the other parent about hard times with decisions because of personal reasons, a judge can say, well, you know what? How about she doesn't have to come to you for none of that? You can't have some judges like that get nasty. I mean, that's why I say you take a chance when you start filing all this paperwork. You really take a chance with that.
Right. Absolutely. I agree. And then I don't understand how all of a sudden you can wake up, 1 week out of 9 months and say, let's just give it, let's just say, because like you said, the whole school year, we haven't heard of him being denied or anything like that, right? So let's just say you were denied one. So let me ask you this. Let's just say one time the school turned you away, and we don't know why the school would turn a father away, but let's just say the school turned him away one time and said, you're not on the list, or the mom said, don't give her to you, because he said it in his paperwork that she was hindering him from talking to the teacher and picking up his daughter and eating lunch with her, right? So let's just say that the school said, well, you can eat lunch, but you can't record, or you can't take her, and then he got mad and he files the next day. Is one time the school turning you away because basically they don't want you to take the child or whatever the case may be, could that be considered contempt over one time?
No, not at all. Because no, not at all. Because remember, if I can recall, didn't I hear you say earlier, or didn't I hear one somebody say earlier that that he told he was in a conversation with baby girl, and he said, I was at your school, and she was like, well, where? And he was like, well, you just didn't see me. Okay, that right there says he was up at the school for something. Am I not right? So how all of a sudden you was there that day, but this day there's an issue? That's where I have that's where my confusion comes in at. Is she still there?
Yeah, I am. I'm so sorry. I had started talking and forgot I had muted it or whatever. So basically, I just looked it up, and it says, let me see. Hold on. So it said it cannot be. So one time, you know, if there was a mistake or something, I'm looking at it and it says if it was a mistake, or if the school turned him away and not Brianna or whatever, then it cannot be contempt. And just one time is not willful contempt. And don't you think it's mighty petty that a father would miss 9 to 10 months of a child's life, and then all of a sudden when they do start coming back in a child's life, they miss the first day of school, they miss award shows, they miss field days, they miss all the important shit that happens in a child's school. But then all of a sudden they want to go and run to the course because they wanted to go eat lunch or pick the child up one day out of the fucking year. Excuse my language, child. Lord Jesus, all the time. But out of one day out of the year, and they wasn't able to see the child, but they go file contempt. Don't you think that's kind of weird? Because what happens in the first day of school, you know, when your child, the first day of kindergarten, I don't think that's important. First day of kindergarten, going to meet the teachers, finding out who they are, and putting your name on the roster to receive email notifications of what the hell is going on with your child, when is picture day, when is field day, when is father-daughter dance day, or whatever the freak, or whatever. Don't you think a daddy, because when on open house on the first day of school, people were asking him like, damn, Mama, it's her first day of school today, why you're not there? And he was like, she got another parent, her other parent is there. While he was out eating like a cow, chewing with his mouth going to the left and right like a whole horse and a cow. He was eating like that while his daughter was at her first day of school. I don't know if you remember that, but anyway, I just want to throw that in there. Over.
Wait a minute. Okay, I gotta get that out. Okay. But oh god, girl, I lost my train of thought laughing at you. um, okay.
What are you laughing at? I mean.
Okay, all right, let me get it together. Talk about he missed it because he was chewing like a cow. Okay, so you're right. It's like I said, if he has not been at the school, and especially, you gotta understand, especially elementary school, high school not so much, but especially in elementary school, most of the time those teachers, those counselors, those principals, especially the administrators in the front end, they are familiar with parents. They become familiar with parents. And if he has not been a regular there, and all of a sudden he comes and they're like, and it's the end of the year, they're like, well, who are you? But then again, I still put a question mark because he said he went there. Who did he get the report card from? Why would somebody just hand him a report card if they didn't already know who he was? You see what I'm saying? So I agree with your analogy, or not analogy, your what you said a little while ago, where you said something had to have happened where he wasn't able to do something like record, and then it was like, oh, I'm being denied. So you see what I'm saying? When you sit down and you look at all the facts together, it just doesn't add up.
Yeah, and in my opinion, I believe this is the whole filing was more for content, and not necessarily for the best interest of the child. It was for content. He wanted, in my opinion, I believe he wanted his content creators to have some shit to talk about, because I don't see how any of this is in the best interest of Momo. You know, let me take her away from her mama. Let me take her away from her father. Let me not allow her to fly with her siblings. How is any of that shit in the best interest of the child? I don't see that whatsoever, you know? What do you think?
It's not. It's not. I wouldn't. And like I said, I don't even think elementary. And like I said, you have to sign a consent form to, even for the school to record, you have to sign some form of a consent. And we're not saying that that's exactly what he did or that's what happened, but that could be, you know how he liked to record with them glasses. It could have been something like, we can't have you record because you're recording other children. It's minors in the building. You can't record other kids. So that could have been something that had happened. Not saying that it is, because you know what they'll say. Oh, well, they said this. No, we're just making an example of what could have happened. And the only reason why is because he was able to obtain her report card from the school, and he did have a conversation with her and say, hey, I was at your school. And of course she was like, where? So obviously you have already revealed to your audience, you have been able to get into the school. Now at the end of the school year, let me ask you a question. Isn't it a coincidence that stuff happens back to back? It's never spread out. And what I mean is, all of a sudden, it's a complaint. Well, she didn't show up for visitation. I didn't get my visitation. Oh, she didn't do the school. Don't you think it's just a coincidence? Everything happens all of a sudden, back to back. It's never in spread out. It's always back to back. Have you noticed that, or am I the only crazy person that's noticed that?
Can you hear me?
Yes.
Okay, you don't have to hit mute anymore. I changed browsers. Okay. But the back-to-back to me seems calculated. It seems like I want to catch your ass at something. So I'm going to spend the next 2 weeks reporting every fucking thing I don't like that you're doing to the courts so that they can believe. And I'm going to stack all these evidence, stack all these accusations or allegations, should I say, so the courts can look at me as a victim and look at you as, oh my God, she did all this shit. Because how is it out of the whole damn year, just 2 weeks out of the motherfucking month, she's in non-compliance, and then the rest of the time she is in compliance? That shit looks fun. It looks to me like I have not tried to call my daughter the whole fucking year, and have not tried to go see her at school the whole fucking year, and I have not done none of this, but because I'm motherfucking 7 months behind on fucking child support, and I don't want to be called out for it, let me make up some shit on her so that the judge can overlook the fact that I'm fucking $7,000 a month behind on child support. That is what it screams to me.
Amora make it sound so funny.
Well, does it not sound like that to you, though? It sounds to me that he wants the judge to kind of squint her eyes closed so she can forget the $7,000 in back child support he owes and find her in contempt of something with the hopes of him not being, you know what I mean, not look so bad or thrown in jail for not paying financial support for his child that he helped create. He always talk about my DNA this, my DNA this, but he don't care Monday through Thursday what the fuck his DNA eats for breakfast, eats for lunch, or eats for dinner.
You're absolutely right. You're absolutely correct. Like I said, I found that very strange that it's back to back to back. And it happens, it's never like spread out. It's never over a cumulative amount of time. It always happens within 2 weeks. All these violations within 2 weeks. And if you look at something's always happening before then, with the audience, the supporters, or something's going on, or he need to do something, or he got to do something, and all of a sudden, boom, something is done. Some papers are filed. I noticed that.
Yeah, because he beats to their tune. He actually should be their supporter instead of them being his supporters, because they basically give him ultimatums to be like, well, if you don't go file something, if you're gonna do something, then we leaving your ass alone. We're gonna bury you again for the 48th time or whatever. We have more burials for your ass because we sick of you. They really want to disconnect themselves from him, but he doesn't want them to, because they're all he has. You know, they are all he has. If he don't have them, he's done. And so, then he runs down there. But don't you think it's funny that this is the second year in a row that he missed his like graduation or something like that?
Yes. He didn't go to graduation this year, Amora?
No, he just went and bought an ice cream cake and a toy and fucking had a super chat party on YouTube and bought balloons and cake with the GoFundMe money and shit like that or whatever to celebrate Momo because he felt bad because he fucked around and didn't go to her graduation yet again.
I didn't even know he didn't go this time, but for 2 years in a row. See, again, stuff like that, as much as other people want to say that it's minute, and those are important little factors that if Brianna's lawyer and her play their cards right, these are certain little factors that can be brought up. How can you say that you are, and listen, let me say this, let me throw this out there. I ain't saying the man a bad father. I don't know the man, but I'm just saying, how can you say that you are a full-time or you're capable of being a full-time dad when even as a part-time dad, you're not showing up for the milestones and main events in the child's life? How can you say
that? Not even paying child support. Like, how do you not think that? Even if my thing is this, let's just say, I'm just gonna say, let's just say if he didn't have the money, his social media page, his supporters stopped entertaining his bullshit or whatnot, and everybody know that Facebook has went down a lot. A lot of people that was making money have now complained that Mark or Meta or whatever has reduced them checks. Okay, so but let's just say if the child support was $13.89 as a cooperating, peaceful co-parent, right? If he went to the mother and said, you know what, I'm really struggling right now with my page. Can I pay you half? Right? Let's put it in writing that I pay you half. Like, damn, nigga, you can't even pay half? I don't understand why you can't send your baby mama $600, $700, $800, $500. Now, why the fuck are you $7,000 behind?
Yeah, that's
it's almost like he just said, the hell with feeding my child. I don't understand that.
Now, I'm going to say this. Just like I said, every judge is different. This is not written in stone, but I'm going to tell you this. Social media is basically, a 1099 job. It's an entrepreneurship job. So here's the thing about a family court judge. The first thing they're going to ask is, what are you doing to try to supplement the income that you're losing? That's the very first thing that they're going to ask. Are you trying to find other means of income? Are you trying to find a W-2 job? Those are the questions that are going to get asked. I mean, because social media, everybody knows social media is not a guarantee. It's not any type of entrepreneurial job is not a guarantee. And if you see a decline in your income based on a 1099 job, then, and you know that you have obligations such as child support, the judge is going to want to see where you have made some type of effort to go out and do something that is a guarantee, like a 9-to-5 or something else. Does that make sense? Because, I mean, that's what they're going to ask. You have child support. So if you see that your income is declining and you say it's been declining for quite some time, then you need to do something to supplement that income.
Right, totally understood. And what I don't understand, what I don't understand is, if everybody else can go out there and get a job and give him $20 of, $20, $30 of their warehouse money, why can't he go get a job? I don't get that. But, I don't get that. It's a more that duck lip motherfucker will pay me all my money. He only has 6 days. He only have her 6 days out of the month. 6 days. I thought it was 4 days out of the month. He only has her 4 days out of the month. 96 hours out of the month. So, I mean, is it 96 hours out of the month or 96? But anyway, nevertheless, he don't have her that much to not care whether she eats or not. But what I don't get is, if you're going to be a deadbeat, be a deadbeat all the way. I just don't think if you should be a deadbeat and come out and represent some real father game type shit. You cannot represent real father game type shit and nigga, you $7,000 in the hole. Like, you gonna have to pick a struggle. You cannot sit here and say, I'm speaking up for all the mother. That's why he was begging the fathers the other day. Like, fathers, we need to come together. Y'all need to help me out with this motherfucking child support because I can't do this shit on my own. That's what it sounded like he was saying to me.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
You know? Mm-hmm. But let me ask you this. What if he has the $6,000 or the $7,000 on the day of court? Will he be found in contempt?
That's automatic contempt. That's automatic contempt. Anytime.
What if he? So what I'm saying is, what if he somehow can pull $7,000 out of his ass and give it to her before they go before the judge?